You think nothing happened to you. Okay. Let's test that. You struggle to ask for help, even when you are drowning. You feel emotions late. Sometimes days late. You are the most reliable person in every room, and the loneliest. You cannot remember the last time someone asked how you were, and you actually told the truth. Nothing happened to you? Here is what I know. Something happened to you. It just never made a sound. And by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly what it was, exactly when it started, and exactly why it has followed you into every relationship, every room, and every quiet moment you have ever had with yourself. Stay with me. Let's start with what we know. You are a functioning adult. You pay your bills. You show up. You handle things. You are, by most external measures, completely fine. And yet, something does not add up. You watch other people feel things and you wonder what that actually feels like, from the inside. Not performed. Not explained. Actually felt. You get good news and it flattens out before you can enjoy it. You get close to someone and something in you starts pulling back, not because you want to, but because closeness feels like standing on ice you are not sure will hold. You are exhausted, not from doing too much, from pretending that everything is fine when you cannot even locate what fine is supposed to feel like. Now here is the puzzle. You did not grow up in a chaotic home. Nobody screamed at you. Nobody disappeared. Nothing dramatic happened. So where is this coming from? Because it is coming from somewhere. Feelings like these do not appear from nothing. They have an origin. They have a cause. And the cause, in your case, is not what was done to you. It is what was consistently, quietly, never done at all. Here is the first clue. Think back, not to a dramatic moment, to an ordinary one. You were a child. Something happened. Maybe you were excited about something, genuinely lit up about it, or scared, or sad, or hurt. And you brought that feeling to the room. And the room did not respond. Not cruelly. Not with rejection. Just nothing. A distraction. A subject change. A parent who was physically present but somewhere else entirely. An atmosphere where feelings were not exactly unwelcome. They were simply not acknowledged. Like they arrived at a door and nobody answered. Now here is what child psychology tells us, and this part matters, so stay with me. A child does not arrive knowing who they are. They find out by watching what happens when they show up emotionally. When they cry, does someone come? When they are proud, does someone lean in? When they are scared, does someone say, "I see you, you are safe"? This is not optional. This is not bonus parenting. This is how a child's brain constructs the answer to its most fundamental question. Do my feelings matter? And when the answer, consistently, quietly, without anyone meaning any harm, is silence, the brain does not leave that question open. It closes it, with the only answer available. No, they do not. That conclusion, made at age 5, age 7, age 9, is still running in your nervous system right now. That is clue 1. Now watch what happens next. Because this is the part most people never see. When a child's feelings consistently get no response, the child does not keep bringing them. They adapt. They get very good at not needing things. They learn to handle things themselves, not because they are strong, but because asking felt pointless. Because showing emotion felt like speaking a language nobody around them spoke. So they stopped. They made themselves smaller, quieter, more manageable. They became the easy child. The good one. The one who never caused trouble. And the adults around them, they noticed. Such a mature kid. So independent. Never any drama. And here is the devastating part of that. The child heard that as approval. The only time they felt seen was when they successfully hid. So they got better at hiding. Not lying. Not performing, exactly. Just editing. Cutting out the parts of themselves that got no response until the edit became automatic. Until they forgot there were parts being cut. Now fast forward 20, 30 years. You are an adult. You are independent, almost pathologically so. You do not ask for help. Not because you are proud. Because it genuinely does not occur to you that you could. You do not know what you want, not in a vague way. In a specific, alarming way, where someone asks and you go blank. You are highly capable in a crisis, and completely lost when things are calm and someone asks you how you actually feel. That is not a personality trait. That is an adaptation that outlived its purpose. That is clue 2. Here is the third clue. And this one is the one nobody talks about. Silence is not neutral. We treat it like it is. We assume that if nothing was said, nothing was communicated. That is wrong. When a child shows something real, fear, sadness, excitement, need, and an adult consistently does not respond, that is a message. It is not spoken. It does not need to be. The message is, what you feel is not important enough to respond to. And here is the thing about that message. You received it hundreds of times. Not in a single conversation. Not in one bad year. Over and over. In small moments. In ordinary afternoons. In the gap between what you felt and what got acknowledged. Hundreds of times. And you believed it. Of course you believed it. You were a child. You had no comparison point. You had no way to look at your family and say, actually, this is not how it is supposed to work. You just absorbed it as fact. My inner world is not worth much. And now, as an adult, when someone loves you, it feels suspicious. When someone shows up for you fully, it feels like they must be mistaken. When you achieve something, it deflates almost immediately. When you are in pain, your first instinct is to minimize it, even to yourself. Not because you are broken. Because you received a message very early, very consistently. And your entire nervous system organized itself around it. That is clue 3. Before I tell you what this is, I want you to do something. Not after the video. Right now. I am going to give you 3 tests. Psychological ones. Each one takes about 10 seconds. And each one will tell you something about yourself that no personality quiz ever will. Do not overthink them. Your first response is the data. Test 1. I want you to think of something good that happened to you recently. Something you worked for. A win. Could be small. Could be significant. Got it? Now, how long did it feel good for? Hours? Minutes? Did it flatten before you even finished telling someone about it? Did you immediately move to the next thing, the next problem, the next task, like the win never quite landed? People who grew up with their emotions consistently met. They can sit inside a good feeling. They can stay there. If you cannot, that is not ingratitude. That is a nervous system that was never taught how to receive. Test 2. Someone asks you, what do you want? Not what do you need to do. Not what is responsible. What do you actually want, for yourself, right now, today? Do you have an answer? Or did your mind go slightly blank? Did you start thinking about what you should want? What is reasonable to want? What other people need from you first? Most people think not knowing what you want is laziness. Or indecision. It is not. Wanting requires believing your wants matter. And if the people around you never responded to what you felt, your brain stopped generating wants. Because wants are just feelings with direction. And feelings were not safe. Test 3. Think of the last time someone did something genuinely kind for you. Not because they had to. Just because they wanted to show up for you. What was your first internal reaction? Was it warmth? Gratitude? Or was there something else underneath it? Something quieter, like suspicion? Discomfort? A feeling that this person must want something, or that they will eventually leave, or that you do not quite deserve it. That reaction, the discomfort at being cared for, is one of the clearest signatures of what I am about to name. Because if love and attention felt like absence when you were young, then love and attention will feel wrong when you are older. Not because something is wrong with you, because your nervous system is running the only map it was ever given. 3 tests. If even one of them made you pause, made you recognize something, you already know what I am about to tell you. You have been carrying this for a long time, and it has a name. So let's put this together. You did not grow up in a home where something terrible happened. You grew up in a home where something necessary never happened. Your feelings were not attacked. They were not punished. They were met with absence. And absence, sustained, repeated absence, is not nothing. It is a condition. It has a name. It is called childhood emotional neglect. And it is one of the most underdiagnosed, underdiscussed, and misunderstood things that can shape a human life, precisely because it leaves no visible mark. There is no scar you can show. There is no event you can point to. There is just this: a person who functions perfectly on the outside and feels faintly hollow on the inside, who cannot explain why closeness is hard, why joy does not land, why they feel most like themselves when they are completely alone. That is not who you are. That is what emotional absence during childhood does to a person. And you have been carrying it, without a name for it, your entire life. You have it now. Now here is what changes when you understand this. Not everything. Not immediately. I am not going to tell you that naming it fixes it. But something specific changes, and it matters. The story changes. The story you have been living inside, the one where you are just wired wrong, just difficult, just incapable of feeling things the way normal people do, that story was never true. It was the only story available to a child who had no other explanation. You have another explanation now. You were not broken. You were shaped. Shaped by an environment that did not know, or could not manage, to meet you where you were. And shaping can be undone. Not by pretending it did not happen. Not by going back and changing the past. But by doing, consistently, deliberately as an adult, what was not done for you as a child. Noticing what you feel. Staying with it instead of leaving. Letting yourself want things. Saying it out loud, even when it feels ridiculous. Letting someone show up for you without immediately finding reasons it will not last. These are not grand gestures. They are small, repeated acts of giving yourself what the silence never did. You are allowed to do that. You always were. If this video felt like someone finally solved something you have been trying to figure out your whole life, that is because it is true. You were not looking for drama. You were looking for an explanation. And now you have one. The next piece of this goes deeper into something specific. Because understanding that your feelings were not met is one thing. Understanding the exact moment your brain decided to stop feeling them altogether, that is something else. That is the next video. And if you think you already know when it happened, you do not. It was earlier than you think.